Kayleigh Ruller. Welcome to everybody in Charlotte.
Thank you, Robbie. I'm so glad to be here and so glad to meet you finally.
I know, finally.
I know.
I've just been trying so hard. All right, so we're kind of mid-conversation, and then I said that, but let's go back to our conversation.
Yes.
So, Charlotte, first of all, what brought you to Charlotte?
Yes. Okay, so I actually grew up here.
Did not know that.
Yes.
For some reason, Jersey was sticking out in my stalking.
And there's so much weird information about me online. I'm like, whatever. I have the digital footprint, and we're just gonna roll with it.
Yeah, just
So I was born in New Jersey, and I do think that is like part of my identity for sure.
Yeah.
But I left when I was 8.
Okay,
and I moved.
8's a lot. Those are
Like
formative
those are formative
years.
years for sure. But my dad, the classic, he got a job at Bank of America, and so he was in the banking world. And then we moved to Charlotte, really like sight unseen. Like we didn't have any family or friends here. None of my extended family is from the South. We're all from like New York State. And so, yeah, my dad just took my brother and me and my mom down to Charlotte, and we figured it out. So that's how I'm here. And I've been like, I went to so many different schools in Charlotte. I always tell people this, like I don't think I've been at a school for anywhere for more than 4 years. I went to like 8 different schools in Charlotte.
Why?
So I grew up in Ballantyne. I started at End Haven when I was in 3rd grade. Then they opened Ballantyne Elementary, so I was there 4th and 5th. Then I went to Community House. I didn't like it. I don't know. It was just so many people. I didn't find my flow. So then I asked my parents. By the way, who asks their parents, "Can I go to Catholic school?"
You must have had a friend or a neighbor.
I don't know what I was doing. I just was like, "Can I please transfer to Holy Trinity?" So then I went to Holy Trinity, 7th and 8th, and then I went to Catholic all 4 years and graduated from Catholic.
Got it.
And then I know you went to Chapel Hill.
I did.
Right. So I was supposed to go to Chapel Hill. That's where I signed and said, "Let's go." But 25 people from my graduating class were going to Chapel Hill. It was crazy.
It's a Charlotte thing.
It really is. I mean, it's an amazing school, and actually, all my friends now most of them went to Chapel Hill. I'm a Tar Heel fan. I'm just not a Tar Heel.
Oh, good.
But then I ended up taking a gap year after high school. So I deferred my enrollment from Chapel Hill, took a gap year to pursue acting in Los Angeles. That's what I did.
Yes. That is the fun part of the story, because everybody thinks, or at least I do, I always look back and I'm like, God, I should have tried acting. Right. It's like something I just love, and this is fun for me. And
I know.
It's a regret, and you did it. So good for you.
Well, thank you for saying that. But you know what I literally said yesterday in the car? I said, the best decision I ever made was quitting acting.
Well, but now you know.
But I'm glad I did it. Like, I'm glad I tried. It's a form of creativity that, like, I think of all of the creative outlets, it is the one where you have the least control, is if you want it to be your career.
Okay.
And
got it. Like the career aspect.
Right? Like, if you just want to act, it's at your disposal. You can do local theater. But even then, it's still not super accessible, right? Because if you were a writer, if you were a painter, like, you could be at home and say, I'm going to do my creative art now. I'm going to do my release. If you're an actor, hold on, I'm going to go in the bathroom and talk to myself in the mirror. Like,
right.
It's just a little bit less accessible.
A little more scheduled.
Yeah. You got to, like, it's an expensive thing, too. You got to pay for all the classes, and there's a lot of gimmicks, whatever. I'm a little jaded, but absolutely, like, at the end of the day, acting was such a fun thing for me. I grew up doing theater. Totally grew up doing theater, and then I got into, like, commercial acting and got into, like, film and TV.
Yeah.
But I look back on it now and just realize really what I wanted. It wasn't necessarily to act. It was to, like, to do stuff like this where we're, like, conveying emotion and having conversation and, like, moving people. Like, that's why I'm a writer. But it was just sort of, like, the wrong outlet, but the intentions were there, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. After I consider myself to be a creative. I think everybody's creative, but just kind of depends on where you do it and what's considered art, and creativity and art can be kind of two different things sometimes. But I'm super fascinated in the art of acting, and I'm interested to hear your experience and first, why you quit.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just said it, but go deeper.
Yeah.
And then shed a little light on the art of acting in the sense that I tend to watch a lot of interviews. Somebody who I'm really, really drawn to is Walter Goggins.
Oh yeah, he's fascinating.
God, he's so
smart.
he's such an artist, right?
He is.
He's just got that, and he's so articulate with how he sees it and how he jumps into characters and that kind of stuff, and that is just a fascinating piece. Talk to me a little bit about those two things.
Yes, absolutely. One thing I want to say, which is like the combination of my world, is that my new favorite cafe in New York that just opened right down the street is called Cafe Mulberry. And
on Mulberry?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And we were actually going to meet there.
That's
I think,
right.
yeah, that's where
That's
we're going
right.
to meet. Walter Goggins is like, I think he's an investor in it or something. Like
Oh.
there's like pictures of him around. It's like it's just a very cool spot. So anyway,
How about
great
that
collab there.
Yeah.
But oh my goodness. So I think what drew me to acting was, oh God, it's a beautiful thing, but it's just a thing like growing up doing theater, like my threshold for now I'm like we're talking
Let's
therapy
go.
now.
Let's go.
My threshold for like dopamine is really high.
That's a great statement.
I'm serious.
That's a t-shirt, by the way.
And it's like, damn it. Like, I wish I wasn't a child actor.
For dopamine.
No, because it's like you go on stage and like the intention is so pure. Like I just want to play and sing. Like I do feel so in flow. Like when I'm just in my body, like expressing. Literally just this weekend at the wedding. Like I was just, all I wanted to do was dance on the dance floor. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I just want to dance.
Just get
and
it
like,
out.
Like if I'm performing, like I do feel very much in my flow. I'm very energized by it. But also when you're a child and you're doing that and then you're told, oh my gosh, you're a star. Oh my gosh, applause. Oh my gosh, spotlight.
It becomes
I
less
do think
authentic.
I just feel like it does something a little bit to your brain. And I think I had a lot of people saying, oh, you're good at this. Like as a kid, you got to keep doing it. And I think I was like, oh, because I'm good at this thing and I'm getting external validation, this should be the path because this is the most interesting thing you could do, be an actor, right? And I just kept following that path. And yes, I was good at it, but I look back and I'm like, no, that was like, it was fine. Like, I'm definitely not like the world's most talented actor by any means.
Yeah.
But it was just something that was like validated by people around me. And I don't really want to like move through this world based on like what's being externally validated.
And that's, I mean, unfortunately, that's what acting is.
Yeah,
You're
it
just
certainly
constantly critiqued and judged and observed.
And I also think there's this really interesting thing of like, when you're a certain level of actor, I never was, you have to be completely like numb or separate from any of that feedback, negative or positive. So I actually think there's something really beautiful if you get to that level and you manage to like come out and not be depressed, addicted, like a serial cheater, like all of the things. Then I actually think you found a really, really good level of bliss and career and purpose. Like you're really just doing it for the art and you have to practice restraint and all of those things. Anyway, that's like a whole other thing that I'm on right now. But for my own life, when I took that gap year, I moved to LA by myself when I was 18. Like, hello, my parents were very nice and supportive of me. I've also like always been very like, when I was 6, I was like the same person I am now. And so they weren't worried about me.
Yeah. That's cool.
I know. And I did like improv, which is always like, improv is so fun, you know.
I did it at UCB as well. In New York. Yeah.
Rock star.
Oh man, I loved it.
That doesn't surprise me. That's actually sick. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really challenging.
Oh my God.
Like it just forces you to like get a little loose, have a little fun. So yeah, I did improv and then I wasn't booking anything. I was not booking a damn job anywhere. I couldn't even get a commercial. And I'm telling you, Robbie, that was such a low point in my life.
Yeah.
Which is so interesting because people say, oh, you're 18 alone living in LA doing acting. I was, first of all, not misbehaving by any means. I was like on my spiritual wellness journey back then. Like I started an Instagram all about like wellness, which cancel all of that. I'm not really into all that anymore, but I was 18 figuring it out. That was like the early age of like the wellness influencer. And I've always been interested in like spirituality and fun stuff like that. So I ended up getting into like doing my yoga, going on my walks, like going to travel alone. I went to like Joshua Tree, went to Colorado. So it was like kind of doing that and wasn't really doing acting. And then I ended up reapplying to college. I knew that I wanted to go back to school, and I went to UCLA. And I decided to not go back to Chapel Hill because it felt like I had started paving a new life in California. And so I studied, of course, not acting. I studied a degree that was sort of this mix between bio and anthropology. And that was really interesting.
Interesting, yeah.
And then, wait, the other question about the acting.
I don't even remember.
Don't worry, it was like why I quit, but
yeah.
I mean,
you've kind of explained that, and you've already implied on why. All right, so God, there's so many. This is going to be impossible to organize.
I can also stop talking as much.
No. Let's roll. We're just going to do this, and then I'll edit it into something that makes sense.
Okay. Well, by the way, nothing makes sense in my life.
It's right.
You're like trying to find the through line. You're like,
I am, and I'm going to give up because I don't care about that.
It's not going to make sense.
I love conversations that go where they go.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to think about some of the things you said and some of the things that came into my mind as you were talking, and one of them was, shoot, I lost it.
That's okay.
It did have to do with acting and creativity and kind of the feedback.
Validation, threshold, accessibility.
Let's just move on from that.
Yeah, that's fine.
How about this? I do want to ask this question. You do a lot of things. So you have, improv. That's where I wanted to go. Let's go back to the improv real quick.
Sure.
Because it's so fun. It's such a fun process. But at the same time, similar to acting, there's a level of having to let go. And that is, and when I say let go, I mean more as you're doing it with someone watching. And it was always my biggest hurdle. And it sounds like it was probably when people tell you you're good at this when you're at a young age, it's because you probably don't have that thing that so many of us have, where when we're in the public eye or performing, we're so concerned about everything that doesn't have to do with what we're there to do. I'm nervous about what you're going to think of me, how I'm being portrayed. Am I smart? Am I good? Am I this? Am I that? And then I'm just buckled with anxiety. Yeah. And so the performance just gets totally shot because that's all that's going through my mind. And it sounded like you were almost either born without that or just have had a life that cultivated that.
I hear you. I totally hear you. And I think it's interesting. I've noticed in my life as an adult, like I do perform best. I actually think there are many times where I am my best self when there is an audience. And that is not like
Normal?
It's not normal. But no, but it actually is if you think about it. It's not about I need to be seen, I need to be seen. It's about having a sense of accountability. Yeah. That's how I feel. And like
makes you better.
I met this guy that was like so mean. I met him on vacation. He like was much older than me, and he was like I did this thing where I like jumped in the lake. I was at Lake Como, whoa, and I jumped in the lake. It was like a cold plunge, and I recorded it because I'm like, this is such a cool thing, whatever. And the guy was like, you just did it for the views. I'm like, no, that's not at all true. Yeah. But I felt that I had this sense of accountability. I was equally as present. This was like a motivating thing of like, I want to share this. This is so cool. Yeah. I'm going to do this no matter what. But actually, you know what? It's like if your parents were watching you like do something, you're like, okay, I got to do it because my parents are watching, right. And maybe there's something wrong there, but you know what? If it works for me, it works for me. Yeah. And so I do find that like documenting my life and like sharing things with the world, with my close friends and with strangers, like that's a way that I express myself, and that's important to me. I think that's why I was drawn to acting, but it was like the incorrect outlet. So yeah, I think that's all I had to say. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I think the one part I wanted to pull out a little more detailed was your ability to perform well with all those judgmental motherfuckers.
Yeah. Totally.
Critical. Maybe
yeah,
not
no,
judgmental.
People are so mean.
You just don't care.
Oh, no, but okay, it's like, it's not like that though. Like, I definitely do care. How do I say? I perform better with a bunch of strangers than like people I know in the audience.
Sure.
And I do care what people think about me a lot.
Right.
But I don't, here's what it is. If I'm being myself, Like if I go on stage and I'm being silly and I'm improvising, or I'm like expressing myself on social media or whatever, and I truly wholeheartedly am like proud to show that version of me off. Like I'm like, this is a good representation of me.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't like it, then that's fine, because you just don't like me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if I do something that does feel like out of alignment and I get judgment, then I'm like,
Then it hurts.
shit.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, you're right. That wasn't cool. And I don't want that to be the representation of me, because that's not a representation of me, or that's something I need to work on. And so I also think with like the acting and the performing aspect, you have to remember, like, that's a character I put on, right? And so if they don't like my performance, like that's just a
They don't like the character.
And I felt so, like, I get so nervous before going on stage. Like I definitely care, right? Like I'm nervous, but the second I sink into the character, it becomes, you lose you. If you're really in flow and acting, you're in the character. You're not thinking about who's watching. And in fact, like, one of the number one things I've learned in acting is like, the attention is out. The attention is out. So like, I shouldn't be thinking, how is everyone perceiving me? It's in this moment, my character has one want and one need. That's always what you learn in acting. Like there's always a driving force, and it is my job as an actor to protect that character's goal and to just say, okay, if my goal is to get you to get up and get me a Coke, I'm gonna make sure that happens. And so that's the difference. When I'm on stage by myself, whew, I'm shaking in my boots.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I had to give a toast at the wedding this weekend, and I was like, but if I had to be a character giving a toast at the wedding, it'd be different.
Can you not put yourself into a character?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, the only reason I ask that is I have crippling anxiety when it comes to public speaking, any of that stuff. And and I've tried every single tool, right? And one of them is to act as if you're acting. Right. Go into a character. It's not you, it's something else.
Yeah.
And it's very hard.
It's very hard. Like, trust me, we were all like, okay, box breathing, okay, wine, okay, like what?
Totally, everybody's naked.
Like what is it? But I've just found, my dad taught me this. He does a lot of public speaking. Just speaking slower, allowing the space to sit. The exhale is the thing.
And doing it.
And just doing it,
right.
Practicing. Yes. Yeah, public speaking is not easy at all. I used to be, when I was younger, I used to be so anxious. And like, I remember I had to give a presentation when I was in 8th grade in my world history class. My teacher was so mean, and I would get so anxious. I know how I would feel. So the way that I would practice is I would run up and down my stairs in my house so that I'd be out of breath and my heart is pounding, and then give my speech to practice. Poor girl.
Oh my gosh. That's awesome. Well, this is all good to hear, because the way that I was thinking about you, and probably the way anyone would perceive your life early on leading up to where you were, was that you were a natural. And what does it mean to be a natural? To me, and I think it's a misperception, that you're just like full of confidence. And like, I don't mean to say you're not. I think that is an aspect, but it is worked on. It is built. Those things, you go through your periods of you didn't just come out like, I'm incredibly confident and act as if I'm 50 years old, even though I'm 13. No. That's what it seems like. Yeah. But I love to hear that that's not what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all worked. I'm like, I definitely think, but like, that confidence or whatever that thing is like, that is my strength. And then I have 8 zillion weaknesses. Like, but that's like a very visible strength. That's if it's about being like a confident speaker, like that's the number one human thing. So that'll become very obvious. But I mean, holy shit, get me on sports, anything. I'm like so afraid of playing sports. And it's like genuinely the most insecure 8-year-old girl comes out. Like, if my friends want to play like adult softball, adult kickball, hell on earth. I don't want to join the team. I will cheer for you. I get so weird. Like, I'm not an athlete. My brother, he's a pitcher at Queens. He's the athlete. It's like we both got like completely separate things. Like, this boy, he wants to like stay in Charlotte, like live in Ballantyne where we grew up, like do his thing. And I'm like, I want to travel the world. I want to. Anyway, we got like the complete opposite genes, but it's fine.
Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff. All right. So if you were sitting at a community table at a restaurant and somebody says, "Hey, you're an actor, you're a producer, you're a writer, you do what do you do?"
Right?
How do you answer that question?
So, like I said,
Right?
you're like, hello, what are you?
No, that's not. I just want to know what your answer is because you do so much. Like, I want to hear your version of what you describing yourself.
So I lead with being a writer. I don't
Yeah.
at all call myself an actor anymore. It's fun
Got
to
it.
talk about, but I don't do any acting anymore.
Got it.
I quit genuinely like two years ago.
Gotcha.
I haven't touched acting, and I feel very, very liberated by that. I have replaced that with writing, which I've always done. I've always been a writer. When in college, I mean, my favorite things like in high school were like I loved writing essays. To me, it makes the most sense, like bringing these sort of separate ideas that are floating around and then kind of creating like a one individual product. It's like does something for my brain. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love an essay, I love an article, I love a poem. It's just like these things that you feel like you can't grasp, like you actually can convey them and like turn emotions into something via writing. I love that. So to me, I lead with I'm a writer. Primarily writing about food and travel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a journalist. I have a background in journalism. That's like what I had been doing for years at UCLA. I was like writing about health and food for the Daily Bruin. Then when I graduated, I was working in restaurants in Los Angeles, and the restaurant I was at was founded by two women food writers, and I started writing for their magazine, their like online publication called Botanica. And at 22, I was like getting to interview like some of the best winemakers in California and some of the coolest like, immigrant owned restaurants and farmers, and
Wow.
I was like so deep in that world, and I love it. I mean, that to me, food and hospitality is what lights me up. And we haven't even really talked about that, but
we're about to.
if you think about that, that is performance.
Yes.
Hospitality is performance.
Totally.
And that is so cool to me. Food is art, food is performance. And that sort of like food as a cultural and social phenomenon is like, that is what nerds me out. Like that lights me up. And so, yeah, I lead with being a food and travel writer. And I'm back and forth between Charlotte and New York.
Mm-hmm.
And in Charlotte, like when I was here full time, I was a full-time freelance writer. And I also worked a little bit in a restaurant. And
Which one?
Rosemont.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah, right there. Right there. I used to live right here. I used to live well, it doesn't matter now because I'm like, I don't live there anymore. Right off of Pecan on like 9th.
Yeah.
Yeah, great vibe. But
Water tower, right?
yes, right over there. So then when I moved to New York, I wanted more, stability, financial stability. So I have a full-time job in the luxury travel industry. And so I work in marketing for a travel agency. You're like, what the hell?
No. I'm right here with you.
So
I'm living vicariously through you.
I know, it's so silly.
It's lovely.
So that's what I do. My full-time job is in marketing for a travel agency,
Mm-hmm.
but I always lead with I'm a food and travel writer because that's really at the end of the day what I am and what I want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And not even just a writer. Like writing will always be there, but I'm trying to build a life in a world where like I can do fundraising for food and travel groups. I can do help lead events, help lead dinners, help travel the world and create like community gathering spaces around food and travel. Like I'm not, as you can tell, I'm not a singular person. I have so many interests, and we all do, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not special or exceptional in that fact. I think we just sometimes get stuck in one, and because we grow up and they're like, what's the one thing you want to be?
Oh,
and
yeah.
that was torturing me. I'm like, shit, I want to be an HR professional. Like, I don't know.
Bio and anthropology. That's
I'm like, so help me God. So anyway, I'm multifaceted, and we all are, and I'm just trying to see how it works out.
Love it. Love it. Well, I mean, you're speaking my language. I mean, if I gave you the time, I've got a little more life than you do, but if I gave you the timeline of all the things I've done in my life, you'd say the same thing.
I mean, yeah, we're just
Wall
talking.
Street, improv, sober, counseling, podcasting, production company. I mean, there's
Thank you.
Lots of different things here. And then that's just professionally.
Thank you for sharing that.
Let's go personally, and oh my God, I mean, the list is endless.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That is really so helpful to hear, and I think
Dude, follow your don't have any walls up.
Thank you.
Right? I mean, that's the idea, is something presents itself, be open to it.
That is so beautiful, and like I think it's really helpful and important to have like adults in my life. I guess I'm an adult, but like growing up, it would have been more helpful to have adults in my life that like were open about that story.
Sure.
I think I didn't have models in my life of like I didn't ever have like the cool single aunt that like was okay with like the gray area. And you probably wouldn't guess it looking and knowing me a little bit, but like I'm an incredibly black and white thinker, and I have worked years and years through therapy to try to understand that there is a gray area. You know, like you don't just because like I kind of see this life of like, okay, either I'm going to be traveling the world, single, writer, independent, scary, freaky, all over the world, can't be tamed for the rest of my life. Or, giving away all my independence and freedom, and I have to get married and blah, 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 and stay in.
Corporate.
It's like, girl, there's stuff in between, by the way.
Sure. No question. I mean, a large part of why I say that is, one, that I was somewhat forced to live that way. And when you battle addiction, you're essentially, you essentially lose control. You're out of control. And as much as you want to have control, you don't have it. And so things happen in your life that you don't have any control over.
Yeah.
I mean, pivots and shifts and penalties and consequences and laws, and, things will slap you across the face that you were not prepared for. And so, that is one of the blessings and curses of battling addiction in my early life, was that I was almost trained to not live confined. Right. And so all of a sudden it's like, if you're open to things and you do the things you like, and you certainly are coming from that good space, like you talked about earlier, your intention and your heart-led passions, and doing the things you enjoy, and you're kind, right? Don't be an asshole.
Definitely.
Things present themselves. People present themselves. And if you're open to it, one day you have a production company and it's like, what the hell is this? I love when people ask me how I got to this point.
You do.
Oh my God, I'll give you, I could do it for hours and tell you all the pivotal moments in my life that led to that led to that. Then these 3 things led to that, all to here now. And it's like, it all makes sense.
So do you think that like following, what is that thing that you follow when you're like, it is time for that pivot? Because it's really hard to let go. You're like, okay, this feels stable and good, but why do I want to build more here? Like, when do you know? How do you trust to take the leap?
It's a great question. My wife and I talk about this all the time, because we always talk about moving to California. We talk about moving to Hawaii. We talk about all these things, and it's like, are we running? Right. Or are we pursuing?
That's the question.
And that's the question. And so I don't necessarily have an answer on how you know whether it is one or the other. A lot of life, a lot of therapy, a lot of self-awareness, right? And then I also kind of follow what I know to be internally. And you hear that a lot. You hear, you just know.
I know, right?
And if you're not in this world where you've got all these protective walls up and all these survival mechanisms controlling you, then you can be aware of what should and what shouldn't be, or what is and what isn't, where, I can look in the mirror, and if I've got a really, really tough decision to make, I always know the answer.
Yeah.
It's just all this crap that's influencing it.
You always know. You always know. And it's like, right now, I'm not on the brink of any big decision, so I can say, oh, but you always know. Trust yourself. Trust your body. And then that big decision comes.
Right.
And you're like, and you ask everyone, and you read all the books, and I'm like reading articles to try to validate my decision that I'm going to make. Just slowing it down, trusting the body, and it's so scary.
Well, what's interesting about big decisions like that is, the one that you should make is the hardest, almost always. And that's why you're trying to assess each, and talk to people.
You want all the information.
Like, you just want to be told, don't go do the hardest thing
I
the
know.
hardest option.
I know.
The
But
most
then I'm never,
uncomfortable.
but like if they say don't do it and I know that I should, I'm still going to be looking. Like I'm still not going to be satisfied. So might as well do the hard thing.
Right.
And
Right.
then you're like, oh my God, I feel so much lighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's really hard. But I really like what you said about you and your wife having the conversation of, are we running away or are we pursuing?
Mm-hmm.
And that is definitely something I struggle with. And I'm like, especially with all of my travels, like, this has always been a dream of mine. Like I didn't grow up traveling around. I didn't get to study abroad. I was in school during COVID, and when I graduated college, like I was very much like in LA, then fully in Charlotte. It hasn't been really to the past year and a half that I've been kind of all over the place. But I will be honest, like I just got back from a trip from Italy, and like I felt like a little bit of a shell of myself. I was like, all I want is to like be in my body and be with my best friend and like have coffee in the morning and like just hang out with our cat. And I'm kind of fluctuating between these big extremes. It's like high highs, threshold for dopamine, and not low lows, I wouldn't say, but like recalibrating back to normalcy has become more difficult. And I want, like, the good stuff in life happens in that in the mundane, in the normalcy, and then those high highs really get to be felt.
Yeah.
And you don't take them for granted. So I'm very
earned.
Yeah, they're earned. If too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
No.
I'm sure, like, as an addict, like, that is a recovering addict, like, that is something that is very true. Like, too much of a good thing is not a good thing.
Totally. Well, early on, it's a good thing, and you can even make a case that it's earned, and then eventually it becomes artificial.
Yes.
And then it becomes
it's like a little bit of a running away moment. And for me, it's interesting. My tendency isn't to run away. It's to add on.
Totally. So
Rockstar.
So when you say run or pursue, it's kind of tomato. I mean, it's like you can say I'm running, or you can just say I'm pursuing.
Yeah.
You know?
Whatever story you want to tell.
You don't. Well, I mean, as long as you're not burning everything down behind.
I know.
That's
like my biggest fear. I'm like my biggest fear is like leaving a path of destruction. On that light note,
Right.
I don't think I'm leaving a path of destruction, but I want to be mindful of that. Like in human hearts, and like the earth, and it's not just for me. Everything is like meant to be shared. Like life is better when shared. That was something I learned in my gap year too. Like I was having all these like beautiful experiences of hiking, and like I just wanted someone to like share the sunset with. It was like, it's that book, the one you read in high school, Into the Wild or something, and it's like happiness is only real when shared. Like, what are we out here trying to prove to ourselves, going after it all alone? I don't know, Robbie.
I don't know either. We're all very different too. It's hard to make a universal statement that we're all supposed to follow.
This is true.
That's not it.
No.
You're you. Back to the running again. I do think it's important to, when we talk about either moving to wherever, it's not because it got hard here and we're trying to escape what's hard. If we are going to move and do something extravagant and awesome like that, it's going to be on a high note. Yeah. Right? Not because it got tough and we're leaving.
Yes.
That means you're not That means you're not running. That's
a really good point. I love that that idea of like leave the party right as you're like having the best time.
Right.
Right?
Hard to do.
Leave a good taste in your mouth.
Yeah.
And go. Yeah. Because there's a dip. I wrote an article for Charlotte Magazine a couple months ago about, does anything good happen after midnight? And
oh God, we used to say 2 a.m., but now it's midnight.
And I went around the bars in Charlotte for after midnight and interviewed people.
Oh my God.
About it.
Brilliant.
And it was so fun. And I had a lot of fun with this article because interesting things happen after midnight. Are interesting things good? I don't know. What is good? But I really came to the conclusion of like, I think the key to a good night out is to leave when the party is good. Like you've had your fun, you're here, this is an awesome party. Okay. I'm tired now. Let's go to bed and take care of yourself. Yeah. And that's like maybe a little bit of a good life thing. But again, we are all different, like you said.
There's a skit, scene, episode in Seinfeld of Costanza doing that. He gets on his things, and that was one of them. Was it certainly was from the writing of comedians, Larry David and Seinfeld, but it was Costanza trying to live his life living on a delivery of a good joke, or leaving on a delivery of a good joke. So he'll be at a party and get a couple people laughing, and he's like, "Thank you, good night." And he'll take off.
That's amazing.
On a high.
Wait, that is actually such a funny way to go about living life.
So good.
Like, okay, I did the thing. All right, I'm leaving.
All right, I'm out.
I mean, that's definitely.
I'm out.
It's definitely a fun and also kind of a safe way to live life. Like sometimes shit has to get messy, y'all. Sometimes you're out till 4 a.m. and you're like, damn it.
I said the offensive joke.
Yeah. I did not need to do that. I did not need to dance on the bar.
That one was uncalled for.
But that's fine. Because it's some of it is story. Some of it is funny. And then you come home to yourself. You look yourself in the mirror.
Well, what if you lived life not doing any of that stuff? Man, what a bore.
I know.
What a bore.
You have to learn. That's another thing. Like, when I was in my early 20s and like late teens, I was so regimented. Get that shit out of here. I was so regimented. Like, so I'm a Capricorn, which people don't realize because I have a little bit of crazy energy, but whatever. Capricorns are very like rigid. Okay. And I like was working out every day at 7 a.m. and I was like going to bed at the right time and I was in a relationship and everything was like very together. Wait, shit, where was I going with this? There was a story here.
We were doing
I remember. Yeah. Okay. Basically, at the time I was reading a lot of self-help books and like trying to learn the lessons of other people before I made those mistakes or learn those lessons myself. Right. So I'm like reading Elizabeth Gilbert and I'm like reading Power of Now and like all these people, you know how it is. And I'm like, okay, you've got it figured out. You're going to be perfect for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it's been in my late 20s and my mid 20s that I've accepted and had to make the mistakes myself to learn the lesson. And I really, like, I'm not reading, like, self-help anymore. I read fiction. I learn more lessons reading fiction because going back to the acting, it's like I become the character. I resonate with the protagonist. It moves me. I'm not reading a textbook of how to be a perfect human. Right. I'm reading a messy human and integrating those lessons. And that's what's happening now in my late 20s is, like, I'm making mistakes and, like, I'm hurting people and I'm not being perfect and, like, I'm hurting myself. I mean, not that extreme, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not like, you have to wake up and be perfect. And like, if you mess up today, then you have to be perfect tomorrow. Like that is how my brain operated from 12 years old till about 21 years old. And really bad in middle and high school. And like, if I said like, I didn't give someone enough of a compliment, like it was a bad day. And now I'm like, I can't live that way. I have to be messy. I have to make the mistakes and learn the lessons on my own. And that's how they become truly integrated. Because you're not going to learn by reading from someone else.
God, no.
You got to do it yourself.
No. Oh, man. Okay.
Feel that, Robbie?
Believe me. All right, so here's my expansion on that. As someone who, I keep referring to my age, but I've lived a bit of life. I'm certainly older than I've ever been.
I've heard that.
Used to say that.
You know what? We have a lot in common.
The oldest
Me too.
I've ever been. Oh, no shit.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
But in my experience, specifically in the addiction space, all right, let me say two things. In the addiction space, as well as when you reach kind of your midlife and a little bit beyond, you become kind of a wise one. Or you hope you are. And so then you're looking back at all these other generations and you're trying to preserve them. And it's a natural thing that humans do is to shed wisdom, is to, hey, here's what I learned. Here are all the things that I experienced that could save you struggles, could save you, whatever it is I'm trying to save you from. Now, addiction there's a lot of that there. There's the old timer saying, here's what you got to do and here's how to, and it's like, okay, I'm not really listening. I'm likely going to have to learn on my own. And it's a lot of why I got burned out in the field of addiction is that I'm sitting here with someone who is not even there yet, barely battling it, but showing the signs. And all I'm doing is giving warnings. It's like, dude, you're on the verge, on the path of total fucking destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going, I don't give a shit what you say. No, I'm not.
My gosh, that's
and I'm
really
just
hard.
watching. And inevitably they go down that path. And the point is, you got to learn on your own.
Yeah.
I can't tell you these things. You've got to experience it.
That must be really interesting for you as a father to let your kids do that without being
hurt.
like, I don't want you to do that.
Right.
But you have to figure that out.
Right.
Is that something?
It's what every parent, I mean, most parents, that's why the whole helicopter world began, is because you're trying to protect your kids from hurt.
I know.
And the hardest thing as a parent is to allow your kid to be hurt physically and mentally.
Yeah, totally.
It's the hardest thing.
And trust that they will have the support from you but they can help. They can figure it out. You'll be there.
Totally.
I'm like projecting my own things.
No, you're spot on. But of course, there's just a million nuances.
I can't imagine. I'm not a parent.
And then my friend's kid committed suicide, right?
So
and you're
sorry.
it's just as a hypothetical. I mean, yes, that happened, but you just look at that and you're like, well, how can I not let that happen?
Right.
Right.
Completely.
And then you're just go crazy thinking about that. Well, if I allow my kid to hurt themselves or get hurt or go down that path of emotional hurt, what if they do that?
Yeah. It goes back to that control thing that we talked about earlier, right? Like this intense like oscillation of understanding when to grab on and when to let go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I struggle with that in my own life, but just with my lonesome. I don't have any kids yet.
Don't it doesn't matter. It's all relative.
Right?
Yeah, no question. Okay. We're going to have to wrap it.
I'm going to cry. Let's
have a little cry here.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think on how to end this. I mean, good God, it's hard to end on a note like that. Like, that's such a good topic. The wisdom learned, and then the wisdom shed.
Yes.
And the wisdom learned is, I would say that's really what it's all about.
This is such a fun experience because you just threw away all your questions.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you just can't put people into boxes. Like,
No.
And it's like, and I bet every single person you talk to on this chair, it's like, the stories go beyond the questions that you ask.
Oh yeah.
Because you can stalk people on the internet, but like you can't really truly know them until you sit down and talk to them. And they have so many surprises. And I love that about humans. Mm-hmm. They're full of surprises.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very it's so when you said black, white, and gray, I mean, it's just the whole world is gray, and if you just accept the gray, then you can learn so much. Mm-hmm. It's like there's like a little group over here and a group over here, and then there's this whole world in between.
That's like the juicy stuff. Yeah. My old therapist used to say, like, don't call it the gray area, call it whatever your favorite color is. So I call it the golden area.
Lavender area.
Lavender. Robbie's favorite color is lavender.
It is.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, purple. We'll say
okay.
purple.
Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
All right. Well, I really wanted to dig into some of the food stuff, but we're kind of out of time. Let me just ask one quick question. When you write an article, so do you do interviews?
That's my favorite
what
thing.
You do. Okay.
That's what I do. You wouldn't know because I talk so much. But I swear, when I did sit down in an interview,
So when you sit down with a chef, a restaurateur, anyone working in the hospitality, food and bev industry, what is your main thing you're trying to extract?
Well, it definitely depends, the mission of the article, right? Sure. Like, so sometimes, it's like a simple story about an opening. Sometimes it's understanding the influence of their food. To me, it's less about specific information. It's actually about building trust, which I imagine that you really get. You will get the information you need if you start by like being a human first.
Right.
And being like, oh, I saw what you did the other day. Like knowing that person and being like, I got you, you're safe. I mean, that is the number one thing as an interviewer. If you can establish trust, you can get them to tell the truth and you can get them to reveal things to you that they wouldn't reveal to another journalist. And So it's never that I'm trying to get them to say the one thing that'll be the
Yeah.
right quote for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
perfect article. It's, I just want to hear the truth. And usually the truth is the most interesting thing.
So the thing you're trying to extract is the honest truth.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
do that by just being, not thinking of your job as being a journalist interviewer. It's about like genuinely being a human and having empathy and having a listening ear. And so that's always how I try to go about my interviews.
How did I do here?
You were awesome.
Do you feel safe?
Oh, yes.
Good.
Of course. And I think you know an interview is going well when the person is the interviewee. So, no, thank you so much. And thank you for being comfortable with the nonlinear combo.
Of course. It's the preference. All right. So for anyone listening, watching, where do they find you? Where are you most prominent?
Yeah. That's such a funny question. Well, you can find me in New York and in Charlotte. You can find me online on Instagram, Kayleigh Ruller. And that's really about it. You can do what Robbie did and just look up my name and, oh, wait, Substack
Wine,
too.
right?
Oh, yeah, sorry. A bunch of other.
I mean, yeah.
Oh,
you
yeah,
find me
shit.
online.
Look up my name. No, you can follow my work. A lot of my work here locally in Charlotte, SouthPark Magazine. Charlotte Magazine is now, I'm sure you know, is now no longer around, but all my work was in Charlotte. A lot of it was in Charlotte Magazine, Charlotte Observer, and internationally and nationally, I write for Food and Wine, Condé Nast Traveler, Eater. So you can find my work there. And I just wrote a really fun story for Food and Wine that I'm very excited about, but I can't say anything yet.
When's it come out?
I actually don't know, but my editor emailed me this morning, so I have to find out.
Well, I'll ask Hunter.
But I'll just say it is North Carolina.
Lovely.
Which is very exciting.
Lovely.
And you can find me on my Substack. I have a personal Substack called Don't Mind Me. And it does more of the kind of conversations we had today. Because yes, I lead with the food and travel, career-wise, but I do believe I am a human beyond that. And I share more of my personal stories, some of my POV on my Substack. So give that a little follow, whatever.
Perfect.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Kayleigh
Robbie.
Ruller, thank you so much for coming in.
Appreciate you.
It was a pleasure.